Alright, Wally's tracks are made primarily of two different parts or types of print. One is the track itself. These are a single print. They sit down flat on the bottom on the bed, and the angles are less than 30 degrees, so you can print them in a single piece. I printed these in PLA Plus. You could do them in ABS, you could do them in nylon, whatever you want to do it in, PET G probably. The idea I have behind these is that the tread grip pieces that stick out the top are printed differently. So this main tread piece is PLA or other material, and then the inserts are printed in TPU. I used a TPU 95A shore hardness. You could go softer, I think, but there's a bit of a balance with having a track drive system that too much grip and your robot won't turn, not enough grip and he's just going to skip along the floor. So the print settings I used for this was that I had 5 walls or 4 walls around the perimeter and about 20% infill. Each one weighed about 70 grams, I think, and you need track pieces per side for Wally's tread. I'll show you that in a minute. So these printed fine. I would highly recommend you print 1 or 2 of these before printing, because as you can see, my first couple of prints that I did were too tight, so I've given a bit more clearance between where they fit together. But the other bit that I've used inside on the edge here, I've used some pigment powder and just put an orange brushing on there. You could use some acrylic paint. Just from my view on the design, these were printed in black, but I would recommend matte black, or what I did afterwards was just actually sprayed these with acrylic matte black to take away the gloss and the shine so that it didn't look so 3D printed. So one that's been put together, we'll talk about the tread inserts. So I grouped these in batches of 4. TPU can be a little bit temperamental when you print it. So 4 each of these pieces that go in, they print just flat again. Again, these were 5 walls and probably 20% infill. 3 top and bottom layers, I think, or maybe I did 4. So you've got to remember that the top surface is going to be the wear surface against the ground. And you can print these and adjust them until you think I have enough flex in the part. These are not really a press fit, but they're a tight fit in there. I actually had all these in together, just pressed in like that, and drove them around for test drives, and that was fine. What I'm doing afterwards is I'm recommending that you don't epoxy these in, but use a temporary-ish bond adhesive. I used a Sikaflex 221. This is a heavy-duty sealant, so more of a sealant, so like a silicone or something. It just needs something to retain those tread pieces in so that they won't come out. So I used the Sikaflex in all these, had it all laid up on the bench, just put a small dab in there, put these in and whacked them in with a hammer on a flat bench, and that was it. Now the way that the tread pieces go together, this could be changed. Again, this is still my design and my test at the moment, but I'm using 304 grade stainless steel welding wire, diameter 1.6. Now you could design this differently and you could put more meat around the end of these pieces to then have a diameter 3mm pin, but one of my aims with my design was to keep the weight down. The tracks alone per side, it's 1.6 kilos, I think, in filament, so it's quite a large track system. So once they are loose and a good fit, these go together. I actually had one of these pins bent up at an angle, and I just try to line up one of them from one side first, like that. That just allows me a bit more freedom to now not have to try to line everything up at once, and then that pin will just go all the way through, push out the other side. If you can find a small screwdriver or something that just has a bit more leverage on the end, stops your fingers from getting worn out. The pins need to be as long as the outer part of the tread there, which is 150 millimeters. So the way I'm retaining these, again, I want these to be removable in future for maintenance. The reason I Sikaflex these on is because in future, if I have to, I can rip those out. I could reprint these inserts and then I can maintain the tread. So I don't have to reprint all the plastic pieces or all this in PETG or something. If you had a static build, you could just modify the design where these are embedded into it and just print that track piece. So if you had a Wally that you just wanted to have as a display piece and not actually have it mobile, these could be joined to the main piece and you just print the tread pieces. The other reason I went with the stainless steel wire, it's pretty common. This is like a TIG welding wire, the 304 grade stainless steel. You can buy it in a box of 20 and they're a meter long or something. So look around for welding supply stores. Stainless steel wire. The reason you don't use steel wire is because it will rust naturally, and then that might seize up as the rust expands. The oxidization might seize up inside the joint. But I don't plan on driving in salt water either. But yeah, so once these tread pieces were done in TPU, I just took them off the bed, just gave them a little bit of a tidy up. I just used a broom on mine, ideally for your bed settings, better adhesion. Don't worry about it, just take off the dags. And once that's done, probably needs a few more dags taken off, but then that'll just press into there. And that's the track system. Quite simple, lightweight, and the gears actually interlock with the slots for the drive system. So let's go and have a look at the actual drive system on Wally and where the tracks sit onto that. Okay, here's the drive system with all the treads on. So as we said, each tread, the TPU, you can see some of the watermarks. I sort of spattered on the matte black and went over with a bit of an airbrush. Inside here I used the pigment powder just when this was open. All the tracks are joined. What I've done to then retain them, which I'll do on the last one once I assemble it, is inside on this bit here, I'll get a pointer, I've added a drop of Sikaflex just into here, just on the end to retain that pin in. Again, the Sikaflex, I can grab that and rip it off and then I can get access to the pins. So when I actually assemble all this onto the track system, there's a extension that goes up and down inside the middle of the drive. So this gives adjustment for track tension, but you don't want it to be too tight. Once that's done, if I need to remove, I'll push this pin in, and then I can still maintain the track or pull it off if I need to. But this is the last pin in, so I've lined it up on the other side. I can push that all the way in and then apply the Sikaflex onto this edge and to this edge here just to retain the pin. So if I take this pin out, hopefully it won't all fall apart. And that's the track system. So it actually engages in here on the front idlers to stop the track from veering off. So it'll keep it in track. The idlers in here, these are just free spinning. The skateboard bearings in here, but we'll go into that more later. And then the track drive on the back here. This is where I've got the hub motor and the wires come out, but they'll feed back in and go through the axle and up and into the bottom of the cavities into here. This is where the hub motor is embedded. And again, I'll go into that later. And so this actually drives into the track. So part of the test of what I'm doing is checking that driving on the one side of the track, with this being a free wheel, that it doesn't create an issue of this twisting, but pretty confident so far it's worked quite well. And that is the track system.
Ta-da!